So let's try with Kioptrix level 3rd, and the IP address that we have find is 113. So अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो नेट डिस्कवर -i आपका इंटरफेस ETO and the subnet mask. So let's have a look on my scan part. That will be capital T over here and the IP address. So we need to penetrate all the things one by one on the server that could be lead us to information gathering. So scan has been done, and what I can see, the port number 22 is open. The port 22 is open over there, and the port 80. So our major agenda is to check all the possibilities one by one, which can be lead us for information gathering part. So we can see we have a proper website over here, which has Craw Security. Craw Security, we have rampered our website for the new release of our Gallery CMS, which is CMS stand for your content management system, which is basically used to control your web application and the management part and the web view. And we are full of ourselves. We put our on this dev server. Dev server means a development server, which is under development. So what we have over here, visit our blog of the section information of our new Gallery CMS, or cut to the chase. We have a proper Gallery CMS over here. A Gallery CMS which contains all the data on the server side. So let's have a look. What else we have over here? That we have a blog section. We just have implemented a new state of our art gallery. So secure, we are putting our production, our hosting server in our. They have given a normal thing. This gallery application will be available for the purchase. Normal thing is given. So within the further Kioptrix domain and the gallery, we can see over here they have given the URL also, and they are using gallery under GPL version 2. And they have a message over here on the bottom, new lead programmer. August 5th, 2010, we just hired a new lead of our project. He's 13 years old, fresh from the college. Besides being two hackers, he is a wizard of its come within the coding part. Welcome, Lone Ferret. And don't forget to fill in the timesheet. Okay, they have given a normal thing over here one by one. And we have one more thing, which is a login part. So, Craw Security, we have a username and password field. 22 and 18. But as per the data, what I can see, CMS, powered by Lotus CMS. Lotus CMS is also your content management system over here. So we know that there is an application which is running in the backend server, but we can see on the server side, the web application side. So let's check if we can find any vulnerabilities according to the Lotus CMS. Lotus CMS exploit. What we have over here, we have remote code execution. This page has been morning coffee yet. Please check if it. Okay, it's on the development part. We have other applications also. This is the Lotus CMS RCE, remote code execution, and we have a free demo also. Okay, so over here they are showing us that how we're gonna use this exploit. Lots of vulnerabilities are available, free to all. So they have given a 10-minute videos. Here I'll show you the manual exploit, the eval vulnerability. I told you about eval vulnerability found in the Lotus. Eval was a function. So this is Kioptrix 3. They find the Lotus CMS. So they have given one by one all the possibilities that could be help us for information getting. So over here, there's a lot of manual code over here given. Let's come to the chess, I guess. Okay, they are going to use CMS 3.0 eval remote code execution part. System execution. They will give ID. Proper remote code execution is working over there. So it's all about information gathering part, which can be lead us for any of the things. And over here we can get a connection. So they have given a proper way that we can use it for information. Okay, we are not going to do a first the exploiting part. We're going to gather more information. Let's gather more information, then we can come to the exploiting part. Let's have a try of Nikto application. What we can find in Nikto. So it's running PHP version 2.4, 2.5.4. Access protection header is not defined. X content type option is not set. No CJ directory is found. We find phpMyAdmin. We find icon and we okay. There is a phpMyAdmin is running in the backend. So what we can get access over here? Let's have a look. Okay. Uh, case sensitive phpMyAdmin. So over here I can see phpMyAdmin. It means there will be a database server in the backend server. Welcome to the phpMyAdmin 2.2.11.3 Ubuntu server. So username and password. So we don't know the username and password. So what I'm going to do, let's try the default credentials. Sometimes the default credentials work like admin, password. Nope. Let's try admin. Nope. Let's try admin and password blank. And it works. So we are on the server side of our phpMyAdmin. We get a proper access. So what I can see over here, phpMyAdmin contains all the database architecture on the server side, which can be leaders for a proper database connectivity or to maintain the database. So my major concern would be we're gonna check all the possibilities one by one, which can be lead us for information in the part. Or we can try further more things that could be help us on the later part. So our major thing would be to check all the possibilities one by one that could be help us to find the information. So in this scenario, we're gonna check all the possibilities in our server which can be lead us for information. So we can see this as a normal thing. I can see only the values over here, nothing much. So let's structure SQL queries, some searches, some export over here. One by one, all the things is given. So let's have a look over here one by one. So we're gonna try this one later on, this exploit. Let's have a look on this one if we can find something relevant data over here, which can help us for information getting part. So this is a normal architecture, character states and nothing else. We can access only the information schema, which is that is an architecture and nothing else. So this is a useless thing right now, but we're gonna use this one later on. So let's try to find something on the website. So what we gonna do? Let's come to the gallery side over here. Yeah, we're on the gallery side. So what are we gonna look? We're gonna check if we can find any relevant data over here. Let's try this one. Okay, there's a PHP .php.php3 over here. Okay, PHP.4. Can we have 5? Nope. Can we have 2? Nope. Okay, most viewed photos. 3 photos, 39 views. Okay, what else we have over here? Let's see the source code. Nothing else. DOM source of section. So over here we have Ligot press room. Okay, see how we are doing in the news. It is a collection of wild pictures, good times, and how to make money at its best. So let's try this one. Okay, we have some recent pictures. Okay, okay, this one's enough. We have some. We have a parameter. We have some applications over here. Sorting up. Okay, let's try. Okay, we have photo ID, first name, file size, data upload, and view. Let's see view. Okay, I'm not able to see anything. Just a normal picture. But as a security analyst, what I can see in the URL parameter, I can see ID is equal to 1. As we have mentioned you, if you find anything relevant to any of the ID parameter that could be lead us for information gathering part, it could be really helpful. So ID is equal to 1. Let's try have a look. So ID parameter. So we have what we have over here, Kioptrix3.com, gallery.php, ID is equal to 1. Okay, let's try with a backslash. Let's see if we can find any error from the MySQL server. As as we know that in the backend there's a PHP MyAdmin is running, so there is a MySQL database server. And what I can see in the screen, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check that minus corresponds to your MySQL server version. For the MySQL server version, for the right syntax to near 1. It means we have a proper error from the server side, which is on the ID parameter value. So let's change to 2. No photos, go back. Single quote or function slip 5 seconds. Nope. So we know this ID parameter is vulnerable to SQL injection. We can try this one. So let's try to enumerate if we can find anything on the server side. So I'm going to do over here, let's try SQL map. So SQL map is an automation tool which can be used for information gathering part, and it's a relevant part. So SQL map -help. So first thing first, we need to check the database server. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use -u for the URL. We can use other parameters like your data, your cookie, your test parameter, -dbms for database background. Detection part, these options can be used to customize the detection phase, -level, and -risk. So let's use the animation part. Our main objective is to extract the information from the server side. So over here, if we check one by one, it can be help us for information part. So let's have a look over here that tables, columns to enumerate, tables to enumerate over here. So let's have a look over here. Let's try SQL map -u, the URL that you want to attack with the ID is equal to parameter 1. So we have to specify the parameter 1. So I'm going to use -dbs. Let's extract the database first. So as per the database, I can see what they have used. Remember, don't go for the output. Check which payload they have used. So they have used this payload. First of all, they use the Boolean based escalation, which is a true condition, 1 is equal to 1. ID is going to start case when they have given a value which is true statement, and then they have given another one which has a union select statement. Then they have used the error based SQL injection. So they have find 3 database services over there. One is your gallery, one is your information schema, and what is your MySQL. So information schema is just your architecture, and MySQL function can be accessible when you have an authority over there. So over here, I'm going to take the gallery part of. So SQL map -u, the URL, the capital D with the database we're going to use. The capital D is represent the data type we're going to use. We're going to use gallery over here. And in the database, there will be some tables, so we're going to use tables to enumerate. As per the, if you want to use any database, you have to specify with the capital D. And in the specific database, there will be some tables. And if you are doing some table names, you have to use capital T and the columns to enumerate the columns on the table names. So right now, I'm just going to use -tables to enumerate some table names from the database gallery. And over here on the screen, you can see one by one, all the things has been given. So our major objective to get all the things one by one with the statement part. So over here we can see we have some table names just like your dev account, some gallery comments, some gallery photos, settings, and users. So let's use any of the database. So I'm going to use the first one, SQL map -u capital D is the gallery, capital T. Now the capital T will be used because we have a table name, and that table name is dev underscore accounts as per the data. So now what? We have to extract the column names from the specific table, which is over here. So -n columns. So what we have over here, we have ID and passwords. So capital C, ID, comma, password, and we're gonna use one function, and that will be our dump function to extract all the information from the server side. So we're gonna use -dump. So do you want to store the hashes in a temporary files? Okay, they have found 2 hashes. See, I will say no. Do you want to perform a dictionary attack? SQL map his own dictionary, so we can try this one. So yes, and over here you can see they have cracked the password with the master and Star Wars, and the username. Okay, I didn't use the username. Ah, don't forget the username also. I forget to mention the username over there. No. Yes. The username was over there was drag and username Lone Parrot. The Lone Parrot username, we know about this one. This was on the website. Welcome Lone Parrot, and don't forget to fill. So the major objective of this one is to simply penetrate the skills one by one that would be lead us for information gathering part. So it could be help us for leading information. So over here, let's try the credentials like your master and Star Wars, the user drag and the Lone Parrot. So these are some username and password. So how we can connect this one? We're gonna connect this one with our SSH protocol, which is running over there. So let's use user drag over here first. SSH user drag @ the IP address and the password, and we are in. So you can see we are on the server side with the user drag. Let's pwd. We can see bash history, bash logout, bash rc, bash profile. So let's have a look on the bash over here. Okay, so what he did, he simply do pwd ls-a cd cat etc password su Lone Parrot. Okay, he jumped for the etc password also. Okay, Okay, so etc password contains some usernames over there. For example, you can see Lonefarad and tag. Okay, what we can see here, we have r bash on the user drag. R bash means restriction shell. It means I don't have the permission to go anywhere. I can't even jump off my own directory. See, because of the R bash restriction bash, which has don't have the permission to execute or jump to any of the directories. Next term, color environment. Okay, so when you have a problem to when you are not executing any of the clear command, there's a color bits environment. Export xterm. So we can do export term xterm to remove that color bits, and now we can execute. So it means we don't have the permission to run any of the usage. But as we know that the username, there was another username which was Lonefarad with the password is Star Wars. Let's have this one. So SU switch user password Star Wars. And we can jump. Yes, I am able to jump on the server side. So in this application, let's go to the home directory. So I'm going to introduce you a new application, a new vulnerability according to the Payatu website, and that could be help us for information gathering part and helps in the different methodologies also. So what I can see on the user Lonefarad, we can see the company policy.readme, and we have some other things like check set, which has an execution permission. I doesn't know which is this one, but application first. So what do they have given? This is the company policy. Here is to use our newly installed software for editing, creating, and viewing files. Please use the command sudo ht. Failure to will result in immediate termination. DGCO. Okay, so they have implemented an application which can be used for editing, creating, and viewing files, and you can use sudo ht. Sudo ht. Yeah, we can see this is an application. Cut, delete, copy, paste, show, windows, size, move, files. Okay, first thing first, let me tell you one thing. This new vulnerability will be exposed over here, like your got milk and Payatu. So in the Payatu, we have done the kernel exploitation. Now let's try exploiting services which is running as root. The applications which has the permission, the famous Eternal Glue and Samba. Exploiting any services which is running as root, will you give us a root access? The famous Eternal Glue and Samba exploited SMB services which we generally as run as root, which can give us an exploit and attacker can get a remote code execution on the local privilege escalation as well. It was heavily used to spread ransomware across the globe because of its deadly combination. You should always check if the web server, mail server, database servers, etc. running as root. May times web admins run these services as root to forget about the security issue. See what kind of services? Web services, mail services, and database services. We can try netstat ANTP.
it will show you all the ports which are running on the listening. Let's try with look at it. Netstat ANTUP. So in the backend, there's a MySQL server was running. What else we can see? You can use PSAUX grep root to check the application which is running as root services. PSAUX pipe grep command root function. And over here, what I can see, MySQL is running as root. Or you can try exploiting sudo executables. We can try exploiting sudo write users. Sudo write users are the users which has the root permissions. If the attacker can't directly get any access to the root by any of the techniques, he might try to compromise any of the user who have sudo access. Once he have access to any of the sudo user, he can basically execute any command with the root privileges. Administrator might just allow the user to run a few commands through sudo, not all of them. But with this configuration, this may introduce vulnerability unknowingly, which can lead to privilege escalation. You can see a classic example of the assigning sudo ID user to find command that for another user for search particular files and logs in the systems. You can use sudo -l, print the command which is allowed to run sudo. He can run, okay, it has exclamation mark. He can run ht command with the root user. See, he can run the application with the ht, which is given over there. And bin bash was given by last time. There was no bin bash, so there's a trick. We're gonna use bin sh. If any of the user has the bin sh permission, he can call the system user. So my major concern would be to check one by one all the possibilities. Let's have a look. So, yes, it was company policy. So remember one thing, they have given edit, creating, viewing files with the sudo ht command. Sudo, which is run as super user, and Loneferret has the permission. That's why he is a sudo user. So if I write sudo ht, which is an application which is running as root, and a local user has the permission, and we have the access of that local user, so we can execute any commands. But we can see it has an sudo ht command could be run. So our major concern would be to check all the possibilities. So this application was basically used to view files and editing files. So let's have a look. Let's open some files. So I'm going to open some files like my some of the files which is not available. So let's use shadow files. If you can access shadow files or not. Yes, we can access the shadow files which has not the permission. For example, if I am not using this application, let's use cat etc shadow files. We don't have permission because the Loneferret user can be run only sudo ht and some of the few commands. But through that application, we can get access. It means if I can access the etc sudoers files, it will be grant me access because etc sudo files contains the permission to all users. Specify the permission to all the users one by one, and that could be lead us to a different things. And that's why if you see over here, if we can able to escalate or change the permissions, user privilege specification, you can see root has all the permission over here, and Loneferret has no password required for running some few commands like your user local bin ht, which is the application that has the permission, and I was given bin sh. When you give bin sh to any of the user, it can call the system calls. System calls means the root call. So let's have a save this one. Let execute. Let's clear it out. Sudo -l. Now, as per we know that there was already a bin sh over there, but we have to add this one. So when you do sudo bin sh, I can see a hash over here, which is saying who am I, the root user. Some of the vulnerabilities which is given over here to expose the permission, and the application should not give the congrats.txt file. So they have given a message over here. Good for you for getting here, regardless of the matter. Each and every machine has a challenge and a certificate. And the most important part, the countermeasure. Do not give any sudo use right to any of the program which lets you to escape to the shell. Never give sudo rights to vi, more, less, nmap, perl, ruby, python, gb, and other applications, because that could lead us to privilege escalation part. And there are various other techniques that we can help us to find out the vulnerabilities. But in the real life scenarios, what kind of vulnerabilities you have find, you have to simply make a report on that. One by one is the important things to make the report writing. And the report writing will be our last topic.